as The Guardian points out, that, quote, under Trump's crackdown, immigration officers have been connected to 16 shootings. That's according to data compiled by The Trace, a nonprofit newsroom focused on gun violence in the U.S. Since July, when the first shooting occurred under the administration, immigration agents have killed 4 people and injured 7 more. The Trump administration has continued to staunchly defend the efforts and actions of the federal immigration agents, with White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt yesterday calling the deceased Minneapolis mother, Renee Good, a, quote, leftist insurrectionist. And when it comes to congressional oversight, Democratic lawmakers were denied access yesterday to an immigration facility in Minneapolis. It happened on the same day it was reported that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had quietly ordered new restrictions on congressional visits, forcing lawmakers to seek a week's advance notice before visiting. It's not really how oversight works, but okay. It begs the question, what, if anything, can be done to change how this agency is operating in America? So joining us now to get into that, Democratic Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts. She is a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. I want to get to, and we will get to, what Congress should be doing and what they can do and what you are talking about doing. But I also want to ask you about the impact of this, right? I think because we've seen so many people over the years be shot and killed on video, many people have become kind of numb to it. But it does do something to you, right? And I wonder what you think it does to the American people watching one of their own be killed in their car while protesting, seemingly, is what it seems she was doing, by an agent of the state, someone who gets taxpayer dollars.
I appreciate your starting there very much, because the point is the actions of ICE, they are unconstitutional, unlawful, they are cruel, they are rogue, they are racist, and they are terrorizing communities. They are sowing chaos and terrorizing communities. It has nothing to do with public safety. And there is a cumulative toll and impact here. You know, ICE's murder of Renee Good in broad daylight is horrific and unacceptable. She was an unarmed citizen driving on a residential street, and she was shot in her car 3 times. So whatever Jedi mind tricks Republicans try to use on the American people, that try to talk us out of what our eyes see, what our bodies experience, and the trauma that our communities are experiencing throughout this country. And of course, the horrific actions of Renee Good, who was a wife and a mother and a poet and a concerned community member, which is why she was out there protesting in the first place. Her brutal murder, these things do not happen they're not in isolation. This is why for many years I've been calling for the abolishing of ICE. But we know Keith Porter in Los Angeles lost his life. Silverio Garcia in Chicago lost his life. And we haven't even started to talk about what is happening with ICE behind the wall, the number of deaths that have occurred, over 30 there. So Congress must do everything in its power to rein in the terror of this lawless rogue agency.
Congresswoman, in addition to trying to smear the name of Renee Good by calling her an extremist and a domestic terrorist and other things, the administration has also limited or put an end to the FBI cooperating with state and local officials in an investigation of the shooting of Renee Good. You tried to put forth a motion to have the shooting investigated. And the House, the Republican members of the House Oversight Committee voted against it. Why do you think they voted against it? I mean, shouldn't we all want transparency into what happened on that Minneapolis street?
Jonathan, they are so unserious about the work of oversight, about the need for truth, transparency, and accountability. They have made a practice of making fiction more compelling than the facts. So they don't want the truth. And yes, in real time, in that committee hearing, that oversight hearing, which was a hearing about Minnesota, I did file a motion for a subpoena so that we could see all footage, all documents, anything related to the murder in broad daylight of an unarmed citizen on a residential street, shot 3 times into her car, and they voted no. And this is the work of the Oversight Committee. ICE is federal law enforcement. And so that is the point. We have to, in Congress, leverage every tool available to hold this administration, to hold ICE accountable. And so whether that is public hearings, whether that is and calling Kristi Noem and Tom Holan before the committee, whether that is ending qualified immunity, whether that is using the power of the purse that Congress has. We are in an appropriations process right now. We should not be funding this terror. And what I will say to you is that I know that there are many people at home who have seen what has happened, again, in Los Angeles with Keith Porter, or with Silverio Gonzalez in Chicago, or with Renee Good in Minnesota, and they think they'll be exempt from this harm, that this could never happen to them. I can assure you that each of those individuals thought that for themselves as well. This harm does not discriminate. It is coming for everyone. And that is exactly why ICE must be stopped, because they're not operating with any constitutional due diligence. They are lawless. They are masked thugs. So whether you are a white woman, whether you are Black or brown, certainly our most vulnerable communities are the most vulnerable to the attacks of this rogue agency. But all of our communities are vulnerable to the attacks of this rogue agency, and Congress must rein them in. And we have the power of the purse and appropriations to do exactly that.
Congresswoman, I want to dig a little bit deeper into what you have called for years now, basically the majority of your time as a lawmaker, which is to abolish ICE. As I have spoken with Democratic lawmakers, staffers under the former Biden administration, people who worked for DHS, who have been reflecting on how America has gotten to this place. One of the things that they have conceded is that the Biden administration was too permissive when it came to border enforcement, and it contributed in some part to the pendulum swinging to this extreme moment that we are in, where the Trump administration has felt like they've had the public support to pave the way for ICE to behave like this. Do you feel that your calls to abolish ICE in 2018, which were unpopular with the Democratic Party at the time and seized on by the Republican Party and used as a cudgel politically against the party, do you feel that that has contributed at all to the moment that we are in right now?
Look, ICE cannot be reformed. This has nothing to do with training or new protocols. This is about cultural practices that have been underway for many years. And again, not only the brutality and the constitutional abuses of ICE in our streets, but what is happening in our ICE facilities, where people are being detained and warehoused, and many of them unlawfully. We have had over 30 deaths in ICE facilities just in this recent span, not to mention how pregnant women that are detained, how they've been treated. So I believe in doing that radical work and getting to the root cause of things. Again, Congress has the power of the purse and appropriations. We need to use it in this moment, because this harm is coming for everyone. It is sowing chaos and terror in our streets. And how did we get here? Well, Donald Trump is in the Oval Office. He is a dictator. He claims to care that he's about public safety and that these actions are being done in the name of public safety. Are you feeling more safe? I don't know anyone feeling more safe. People are feeling less safe and more threatened by the probability of state-sanctioned violence.
Congresswoman Tom Homan, the border czar for the administration, is on Meet the Press. And our producer just told us that he said what Renee Good did was a crime. And I'm curious When you think about the fact that there is supposed to be an investigation into what we're seeing, the administration has already called her domestic terrorist. They have started to release video that probably would be helpful for investigators to look at in the privacy of the investigation. And now Tom Homan predetermining that what she did was an actual crime. What do you think they are trying to signal? And can the American people trust the investigation that we are going to see?
Well, first of all, just saying a thing over and over again doesn't make it true. And we should absolutely believe what all of our eyes have observed, which was a brazen killing in broad daylight of an unarmed American citizen on a residential street. A mother, a poet, a community activist who was there because she cares about her neighbors. What they want is for us to go quietly into the night, to believe that their dark, violent, dystopian view of this country is an inevitability. And I'm so grateful for everyday citizens that continue to join with Democrats in vigorous condemnation of these actions. And I will continue to demand an independent and thorough investigation, continue to call on Congress in this moment to use appropriations and the power of the purse to rein in ICE. Again, I believe it should be abolished. We need public hearings and accountability. Even if we have to subpoena people to come before us because they won't come on their own volition. Christy Holmes should have resigned long ago. She is completely incompetent and dangerous. And then we need to end qualified immunity so that we don't have agents and law enforcement moving with callous disregard for human life and impunity.
Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.